Welcome to Unorthodox Logic with Marv Critton, and I appreciate everybody returning, tuning in, and the continued support. I apologize for the late episode this week. A few things happened during the week. I was not able to go ahead and get the episode out by Thursday, but here we are on a nice Saturday. You're going to get it, and that's okay because the information is vital, and we got more information to disseminate upon the people. Anyway. Make sure you follow me on all social media networks. It's really Marv on all social media networks. Yes, I changed it, but I have some things that I'm doing, and I have to also continue to do those things and whatnot. So, it's really Marv on all social media networks. Anyway, I want to talk about quite a few things. And initially, I wanted to talk about some, aspiring billionaires. I'm going to get to all that. It was a few things I wanted to talk about because we're going to talk about the religion of capitalism. For those of you that are looking for me to appear on video, I am not doing the video for this episode. I want to do strictly audio because I wanted to get it out as fast as possible. And unfortunately, when it comes to videos, I can't do it midday, can't do it in the morning. I only can do it at a specific time when my kids are in bed, and I don't have time to continue to force you guys to wait on this important information that we need to discuss. And I want to go ahead and get some dialogue started and make sure y'all hit me up. We're going to start with a New York State issue. Governor Cuomo has wrote an executive order forcing all hospitals that have extra, and I say extra in air quotations, extra ventilators to send them downstate to New York. And then he said, I'm going to read his what's called. And then what's going to happen to those ventilators once downstate New Yorkers done with them? It doesn't sound like they're coming back upstate. So there's a hashtag going on where it says Upstate Lives Matter. I'm not interested in participating in such a hashtag because those are the same people who shit on Black Lives Matter and they counterpoint it with Blue Lives Matter. So I'm not fucking with that crowd in any way, shape, or form. But when it comes to this matter, when it comes to this particular subject, I have an issue with the governor. As usual, he's always shitting on upstate New York. I have always been an advocate to separate from downstate. Mount Vernon and down can go ahead and have New York. You can call yourself New York, whatever the fuck you want to call you. I don't give a fuck. Y'all can call yourselves New York City, New York, and we can, or whatever of those variations of whatever y'all want to call yourselves. We can call ourselves Upstate New York. We can call ourselves North New York, Western New York, whatever we want to call ourselves. We can fucking do it. And I hate when people say we need New York City. Look at Vermont. If we took New York City, or if we took from Mount Vernon down, away from New York State, we would still be a bigger population than Vermont, New Hampshire, Rhode Island, all these, New Jersey. Like we would be Connecticut. Like we would be a bigger state than all of them, and they all seem to do perfectly fine without a major city like New York City. Now, New Jersey, the upstate New Jersey, they do depend on New York City. A lot of them work there and live in New York and live in New Jersey, whatever the case may be. But Connecticut and those tri-state areas, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, we would be bigger than those particular states without Mount Vernon and down. So stop the stupid shit when y'all say we need New York City. We do not need them. Those states are able to survive without a major city like New York City in their state. We can do the same. You know why? It would cost less to run the fucking state. New York City inflates everything that goes on in New York State. Everything. Without New York City, we would be fine. We don't get much aid from them anyway. Most of the money that comes into New York State goes directly to the city. They love using that excuse, well, we need the resources. Well, go ahead and have your own shit. Mount Vernon and down, take your asses and stay in New York, and we'll go ahead and get our own state popping, and I'm going to show you how we can do this. A lot of y'all sit here and act like we are feeding off the titty of New York City, and we're not. They're not giving us shit. They give us scraps and bones of what they pick out of and say, hey, you guys can have the bullshit. If any of y'all saw that Joe Exotic documentary, remember how they go to Walmart? This is a spoiler. This is a spoiler. If you didn't see it, this is going to be a spoiler. Remember how they go to Walmart and they get that meat, that expired meat, and he let them pick through the meat before they give it to the tigers? That's the kind of shit that we're on. We're picking through the fucking meat before it's thrown in the garbage. That's what happens to the rest of New York State just to make sure New York City is sustained. We do not need them. There are smaller states that have shown us we do not need a major city like New York City. All of them have been doing perfectly fine. That is the reason why we don't have a political voice, because all they have to do is go downstate New York, garner enough support, and they don't even need to come up here. So what's the point of anyone doing anything for us to help our needs if they don't have to? All they have to do is garner the support of New York City. It has been a detriment to us, actually. It's been a detriment. So he signed an executive order saying that all these extra, and again I say that in air quotes, ventilators need to go downstate because they're getting hit the hardest. Well, we knew you guys would get hit the hardest if any fucking disease come ravaging the country because y'all live on top of each other. But what I'm saying is, my argument is that on March 30th, 2020, upstate New York, Western New York in particular, not actually Western New York, Niagara County, my county in particular, had 51 coronavirus cases. So everyone's like, damn, that ain't shit. We got all these extra ventilators. We need to go ahead and send that down. 4 days later, that number doubled to 100 and, well, almost doubled. It doubled. 103 cases as of 4 days later. At this point now, we have more confirmed cases. I want to wait and get the exact number. I like to wait until the end of the night to see what exact number we get. But that don't seem like it's not hitting at a heavy pace. Now, you got people saying, well, only 16 people are hospitalized, and, that's all the ventilators we need. We got these extra ventilators. We need to send them downstate. What about when we need the ventilators? I'm going to read to y'all what Governor Cuomo said exactly from his own words. These are his words. What he said. We have taken extraordinary measures to build our stockpile of ventilators. Now, this is via governor.newyork.gov. This is directly from the governor's website. We have taken extraordinary measures to build our stockpile of ventilators, masks, and other personal protective equipment, PPE. For those of y'all that didn't know what PPE means, it means personal protective equipment. But we still do not have enough, Governor Cuomo said. Our greatest challenge has been ventilators. We are running out of them in our most stressed regions of the state. And there are hospitals in other parts of the state that have ventilators that they are not using. And I will not be in a position where people are dying and we have several hundred ventilators in our state, somewhere else. I am signing a new executive order that would allow the state to redistribute these ventilators from institutions that don't need them now and send them to the hospitals in parts of the state that do need them. Right? Let me tell y'all something about that little statement he said there. I am signing an executive order that will allow the state to redistribute these ventilators. Allow is a heavy word. And in the context that he's using it, yeah, it is going to allow the state to do it because they're going to take it by force. They even sent the National Guard in to make sure they get the shit. And when our curve is over, New Yorkers are going to take our equipment, our PPE, and our knowledge, and we will go to any community in this nation that needs help because that outpouring has been there for us. He did not say he's going to send those ventilators back in any way, shape, or form. The reason why I have such an issue with this is because I have a mother and a mother-in-law who have compromised immune systems. I hope this does not happen. If they were to contract the COVID-19 coronavirus, they will not pan out like my boy Layson. See, Layson is a young 27-year-old man. Healthy, as far as I know. And he survived the coronavirus. He had it. He said it wasn't much of a hindrance to him. He self-quarantined, did everything he needed to do, and he's back and he's on his feet. He didn't even have to go to the hospital. But if my mother, who has had a kidney removal surgery postponed because of the coronavirus, who is dealing with kidney failure at this very moment, who has to go to the hospital 3 days a week to get dialysis, if my mother, happy birthday to her, because today it's her birthday, make sure if y'all know my mother, wish her happy birthday. If my mother was to contract the COVID-19 coronavirus, she most likely will need the ventilator because my mother also has respiratory issues because it mainly hits the respiratory. So if you have a compromised immune system, this is a dangerous virus for you. So if she will need a ventilator, more than likely. So with that being said, if we're sending all these extra ones that aren't being used, what happens when we eventually will need them? Because it's not like the curve is flattening or the rate is slowing down. It is speeding up at an accelerated rate. I understand we're not living on top of each other like New York State, so they're getting hit the hardest. They have a much bigger population than we do, so we should expect them to get hit the hardest. China officially, as of today, now this coronavirus executive order was was issued yesterday, April 3rd. I don't really want to date this, but I got to date it because it's important. As of today, China's sending 1,000 and Oregon is sending 140. State of Oregon is sending 140 ventilators. China's sending 1,000. So they're definitely getting the aid. So as far as a breakdown, Erie. So let's look at this here. In Suffolk County, they got 10,000 cases. Nassau County got 12,000 cases as of total positives. New York City has 57,000 cases. Orange County has 2,300 cases. Rockland County has 4,200 cases. I said Suffolk already. Westchester has 12,000 cases. County like Yates has 1. Tioga has 7. Schuyler has 3. Never heard of that before. Orleans have 9. Montgomery has 10. Lewis has 2. Hamilton has 2. Let's see, yeah. And then everybody else has double digits. I mean, there are some lower ones, don't get me wrong. And I'm not saying that these downstate counties aren't getting ravaged with it, because they're definitely getting crushed. And it doesn't seem like the number is flattening out in any way, shape, or form. And it's not going to slow down because, again, they live on top of each other. And this is what you should expect when you live in a city that's so congested in that way. Shit, if they had the fucking stomach flu, that shit have ravaged through that city. It's just not a deadly thing. So the issue is, honestly, it's my frustration isn't just from this one executive order. This is just a history of, once again, New York State fucking upstate New York in the ass with no Vaseline to make sure New York City stays afloat. Do they need ventilators? Of course they do. I'm not fucking stupid. Of course they do. But the problem is, when we need the ventilators, we're not getting them back. We will not get the support that they're requiring that we give. We will not get that. Y'all can sit here and say, hey, it's not happening. We don't need them. We need to help out our neighboring states and all this other stuff. That's fine. We can help them out because we ain't got no fucking choice as of now. But when it's time to get those ventilators back, when we need them, because we are growing at an exponential rate for a city that does, or for a county that does not live on top of each other. We are growing pretty fast. When we need them, because we have a more elderly population as well, when we need them, we will not get them back. Understand that. When upstate New York needs those ventilators, we won't get them back because they're going to say that they need them more. So when your grandmother or your auntie or your mother or your cousin or someone you love or care about dies because there's not enough ventilators in upstate New York, don't get your dusty ass on Facebook talking about you want to start a GoFundMe or goddamn, we need a ventilator. It's going to cost X amount of dollars. Can y'all help? Because the answer is you were okay with Governor Cuomo taking this shit and you supported that. So you and your family going to have to hold your own nuts. Everyone that knows me privately. They know I donate money to things, GoFundMe, stuff like that, resources, food, whatever. I do. I like to do it behind the scenes. Maybe I should start being more public about it. I think that may be the thing I need to do so people can understand who I am. But when that happens, don't get on Facebook bitching and crying about having lack of medical equipment. Because at the end of the day, you didn't feel like a priority should have been set on your family and loved ones. That's what you felt like. So that's how y'all feel. That's how y'all feel. I'm going to just put a button on that. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to keep going over that. But since we're on the coronavirus thing, let's talk about a few other things that's coming up. I'm starting to get videos. I'm starting to get tagged in these conspiracy theories about 5G being the reason that the coronavirus is happening. Is it a coincidence? It's something to be looked at. So here's how I look at conspiracy. I have a measuring stick when it comes to conspiracy theories. Hold on. There's never a situation where I feel like the government hands are clean. It's rare. Let me put it like that. Rare, very rare. So when things start to come out about what's going on, because today we're going to talk about the religion of capitalism, and this is all going to tie in. Trust me. When it comes to the religion of capitalism in America, there is only one winner and one winner only, and that's the white supremacist elites. When it comes to everything else, everyone else, we are all casualties of the religion of capitalism. So because I wholeheartedly believe that, I will never put it past this country, this government, or this religion of capitalism to not sacrifice us in the name of money, for the love of money, for the greed of money, for the collection of money, for the growth of money, however you want to put it together. I will never believe that this country will never do nothing like that. I mean, they have shown us time and time again that the religion of capitalism is the only religion that matters. Now, as far as this 5G conspiracy, this falls low on my meter. Here's why. I know people are saying it pushes out radioactive and waves and this and that and whatnot. We have some intelligent brothers that speak on it, and none of them are scientists. But it falls low on my meter because 5G came about. I first noticed 5G in Buffalo over the summer of this year. So how many people can say they were sick this past summer? We know people had the coronavirus in like November, December. They just didn't have a name for it at that time. But we know people were like, damn, I've been sick for 2 weeks. Yeah, we know people had the coronavirus then. So the question would be, what happened during the summer? Why weren't people getting sick in the summer? So we say these things like, hey, this 5G thing is causing this, that, and the third. Could it be? Could it be a situation where they're like, hey, look, we need to get everybody in the house so we can get these 5Gs installed, and it's going to make some people sick because of what's going on, but if they stay in the house and they don't get around each other, we can go ahead and stop spreading the sickness and we'll be good. Plus, the mortality rate is extremely low. The mortality rate does not call for a global shutdown. So that's where the suspicion comes in at. It's like, bro, we see more people die from this. We see more people die from this. We see more people die from this. And we ain't never have a shutdown. So what are y'all not telling us? Or why do y'all need us in the house? So it's obviously something else. You see what I'm saying? It's obviously something else. But it falls low, but I wouldn't say it's out of the question. It's out of the question. Because again, you never know. With the religion of capitalism, they might just as well, this shit might be triggering respiratory infections and things of that nature. I don't know how radiation triggers respiratory infections. I know radiation usually hampers the immune system. So could it be a situation where the radiation is hampering the immune system, and with the immune system going down like that, the flu itself is becoming more dangerous than normal? Because it could just be the common flu, but with the hampering of the radiation. But the thing is, the coronavirus also causes breathing issues. So, it could be. Again, I'm not sold on the 5G conspiracy, but I'm also not the type of person who believes the government, his hands are ever clean in a situation like this, because the religion of capitalism is that simple. Now, Also, before I get into my last topic, I want to talk about one other thing. What you should be doing with your children during this coronavirus pandemic. Whether we like it or not, whether we believe it or not, whether we believe it's necessary or not, it's a reality that our children are at home with us. And this is an opportunity to build on that. For those of you that were too busy for your children, you found yourselves at bars and at clubs and at stores shopping. You always found a reason to get from around your kids or spend quality time with your kids. Now is the time that you need to be getting to know your children, letting your children get to know you and seeing a different side of you. This is for personal development with your children, and this is for intellectual development with your children. You need to find out how intelligent are your children truly. I know a lot of y'all like to look at school grades and post your little school grades and say, my baby's smart, my baby's smart, my baby's smart. Your baby is being miseducated. And they're doing well with the miseducation. But you know, and I know, that once that shit is all over with, most of that shit is not applicable. We know this already because we've been through the system. We've been through the system, and we know that most of that shit is not applicable once you're done with high school. So what are you doing to help develop your children outside of that method, outside of that system? I'm having all types of conversations with my kids. My son asked me, can I homeschool him so he can become a YouTuber? I told my son, hell no. That's not practical. See, I got to teach these children practicality because a lot of times they see somebody doing something on the internet, on TikTok, on YouTube, and they think, hey, I want to do that. All I got to do is do this, this, and this. No. They didn't start that way. I told my son, when he generates enough money that's justifiable for me to pull him out of school and homeschool him so he can do that more full time, then I'll consider it. Here's why. Personal health and financial literacy are the most important education you can give your children. Personal health and financial literacy is the most important education you can give your children. My screen just went black, y'all. I got terrified. Thought this shit ended. Let me turn my screens, lock screen saver shit off because it's starting to piss me off. Here we go. And that screen timeout settings too. Here we go. Yeah. Let's do 3D text. Okay. Hold on, y'all, because this screen timeout settings. Hold on. Go to sleep. When PC's plugged up, PC goes to sleep after 2 hours. When plugged up, screen turns off after 2 hours. I know it's going to fuck my light bill up, but shit, I need to shut these shits down anyway. All right, back to it. Personal health and financial literacy are the most important pieces of education, important pieces of knowledge that you can give to your children. If you don't know personal health and you don't know financial literacy, learn it now. Start learning it now. We are living in a religion of capitalism. I know you like to pray to God, to Allah, to whoever the Buddhist God is, and whatever religion, atheist, agnostic, whatever it is you do. You live in America, for those of you that are listening in America. The religion in America is capitalism. To put your child in a position to live well and have their heaven on earth, they need to know personal health and financial literacy. The reason why I say personal health is because we have to understand that if you're not healthy, or if you're not in a situation where you can't actually live, then you're not in a situation where you can live a lifestyle that you want to live. So let me explain that. Let me explain that because I don't know if I even said that in a way that's understandable. So we gonna make sure we say it properly. If you are not healthy, how on earth can you live a fruitful life? How are you going to be the best you can possibly be if you are not healthy? How? It's not possible. It's not possible at all. So first and foremost, you need to be healthy. We can do this whole, hey, and, we got medical. We have shown, based on this pandemic, our medical system sucks. Sucks ass. Sucks butt cheeks. It's not good. Does no good. We got people dying left and right because we are a first world country, but we have a medical system of a third world country. Even they know better ways to treat some pandemics and shit like that. Like, come on now. We are in the religion of capitalism. So personal health is vital. Financial literacy is vital. It's a lot of y'all who still don't know credit. It's a lot of us who still don't know the stock market. Still don't know how to start LLCs, which don't matter if you don't know how to make money. So we need to stop that LLC shit. I'd rather LLCs cost $240. I'd rather do that than buy some Jordans. It is useless to buy LLC if you don't know how to make no goddamn money. If you don't know how to make money, what the hell do you need an LLC for? Just to have one? What are you going to have the LLC for? You going to just have it sitting there collecting dust? What is it for? What is it for? What is your LLC for? If you don't know how to make money. Financial literacy. Personal health. Those are the most important things you can teach your child as long as you live in America. Because those are the things that will always reign supreme. Being healthy and alive is something you need to do. And when I say personal health, I don't just mean physical health. Mental, spiritual, physical, mind, body, and soul. That's what I mean when I say personal health. Your mind, your body, your soul needs to be healthy. Financial literacy. You need to learn money. I'm still learning this shit. I'm no expert at it. But I realize the more I learn money, the more money I make, the better my financial situation. And no, I'm not saying I'm not one of those people who believe money is the root of all evil. Evil, it's dirt. Listen, I just saw Tiger King. It's motherfuckers that live in filth and disgust that do evil shit. It's motherfuckers that live in, and they weren't even trying to get, like, Joe may have tried to get famous, but it wasn't no greed for money in that shit. That was just dirt and filth and garbage. Dustiness. That's what that was. So with that being said, since we're on the topic of money, the government just signed a $2 trillion bill stimulus package to just give to the people, mainly to corporations. And of that $2 trillion, $1,200 is going to each person, $2,400 per couple, $500 per child. So some of y'all about to get $1,200 plus $500 per child. Some of y'all got 3 kids. So some of y'all about to get $2,700. I heard, somewhat read, I can't confirm, can't deny that it's actually, it's taxable. They're going to use that against your taxes next year. So you might be $2,700 short. So, But whatever. I see these people who call themselves aspiring billionaires, aspiring millionaires, whatever the case may be, sitting here trying to down talk people about the $1,200. Saying, yo, y'all up here happy about $1,200? That ain't nothing. Yo, all y'all do is care about handouts. That ain't nothing. I'm here to tell y'all, the people who have the biggest handouts are the billionaires. The airplane companies didn't need no money. They didn't need a bailout. But they had a handout because the government was about to sign a $2 trillion bill. So they're like, hey, whoa, we don't need the money, but hey, let us get some of that. Of the $2 trillion, $350 million goes to the people. The rest of it goes to companies, organizations, and all types of other shit that does not help us in this pandemic. Of the $2 trillion, $350 million of $2 trillion is, I don't think that's a quarter. I think $500 million is a quarter of $2 trillion. Let me see, no. 500 million is billion. That's an eighth. 500 million is an eighth of 2 trillion. To get y'all a scope of the number. Check my math if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. Either way. So for all of you that call yourselves aspiring billionaires, right? Y'all always complaining about people having their hands out to the government, but the government are the ones who fund the billions. Amazon is an exception. Google is possibly an exception. Facebook is an exception. They made their money strictly off the internet. But these brick and mortar companies, meaning if they have to have physical locations, physical things, like airplane companies and car companies that make these billions of dollars. You know, the car industry got billions of dollars in bailout from Obama, and now these companies are about to get billions of dollars in bailout from Trump. Who don't need it? Obama and some of them companies, they probably needed it. They could have handled their businesses better, but, whatever. Paid for by the tax dollars. So please tell me, how is that not the same as people wanting the money from the government the same way these businesses want it? These businesses aren't going to do anything great with it. They're not going to help out the community. They're not going to help out the people. They're going to give themselves a fat-ass bonus at the end of the year and walk away clean. It's highway robbery. So how in the flying fuck do y'all think that people asking for $1,200 are begging, but motherfuckers asking for billions is handling business? They don't need the money, bruh. Listen, that's the game. The government funds this shit. The goal is to get the tax dollars to pay for shit. So when a new sports team move into a new city, you know who pays for that stadium? The fucking tax dollars do. These are billionaires who come into a city and say, hey, I need y'all to pay for this shit. I need y'all to give me y'all government handouts so I can pay for this goddamn stadium. I need y'all to do it because I don't want to pay for it. Now, you can say the mentality of these people are poor and broke because it is. You can say the mentality of it. People sitting here acting like $1,200 about to change their life. Listen, I don't make $200,000 in my household, so I qualify for that $2,400. But I'm also still working. I'm still getting a full paycheck, and I make more money than that. I do. That's a one-time payment. It's gonna be nice to have. Gonna put it in this. It's gonna help pay. Oh, it's gonna pay for some vacations, baby. Don't get me wrong. That's some vacation money right there. All right, listen. I got a few kids that's gonna give me $500 a piece, and $2,400 that's gonna pay for some vacations. We lit. They paying for our vacation money. Once this shit clear up, that's vacation money. That's not gonna change my life. That's not going to help me out in some drastic way. It's going to pay for vacation. But I know I'm fortunate. I'm a little more fortunate than others. Some people have broke-ass mentalities. Now, I'm personally, I've been, investing in stock. Me and my boys been sharing information. CJ done put us on to a lake. Carnival Cruises. I'm going to give y'all the game for free. If you made it this far, I'm going to give you the game. Carnival Cruises is a good way to invest. CJ just popped the idea in our head, and, I've been putting money in it ever since. I use Robinhood. If you don't use Robinhood, get signed up. I'm going to leave my Robinhood invite link so we can both get money. We need to start that mentality. If we all going to be signing up for some shit, let's use the referral process so we can all get some money out of it. Because usually what the referral process is, if you refer X person and they put X amount of dollars in, you both get free stock or you both get money. It's always a both thing when it comes to these companies. So I'm going to leave my referral link to Robinhood in the description on the podcast and the YouTube video so y'all can go ahead and use my referral link. Let's both get some money. Why not? I don't see the reason we shouldn't. Download it and then just go look up Carnival Cruises. CCL is the whatchamacallit, and then you just start to learn money. That's long-term money though. You only do that if you got money that you can put in that you're not gonna need for the next year or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. Like, just let that shit sit and stack. You know what I mean? So if you can't afford to put $1,000, don't put $1,000 in, man. Carnival Cruises at $8 a share, man. Go buy 5 shares. You know what I mean? Go buy 2 shares. Buy 1 share, whatever you can afford. I'm not that kind of person that's gonna tell you to do what you can't afford. And then just let that shit marinate. Don't look at it too much, because then you will start itching and you cash it out. Now you got to pay a tax penalty on that shit. So especially if you do it within the first year. That's a little game for y'all on that. But for those of you that, because I want to put a button on this and we're gonna close out the episode with this. For those of you that's saying you out here getting it, you hustling, this, that, and the third. Government contracts is the biggest come up in America. The religion of capitalism allows that kind of shit. That's why you see people always chasing government contracts. If you are a electrician, it would be nice to have a government contract, because now you get that's guaranteed money. You feel me? That's guaranteed money. That's going to be usually you can inflate the price on that motherfucker, and you can eat for a long, long time. If you're an electrician, if you're a plumber, imagine getting the government contract or the city contract for the plumbing, and now you're doing the plumbing in all the city buildings. Plus, you're doing home plumbing as well. Come on now. Y'all not thinking, man. Y'all just talking because y'all think y'all heard some motherfucker on the internet say some old dumbass buy an LLC over Jordans. I'm telling you, buy the Jordans. If you don't know how to make money, what the fuck is the point of you having an LLC? Go buy the Jordans. Everybody ain't cut out for this shit, man. It's just what it is. Everyone is not cut out for this. And we need to understand that. All right? Make sure y'all follow me on all social media networks. It's really Marv. I really appreciate y'all tuning in. I thank y'all for y'all patience with me. I know it's been a little inconsistent. I'm getting back on track. I'm going to continue to give y'all more episodes. I might switch to a strictly audio version because I do like this much better, to be honest with you. Just come in the basement midday and just bust down the episode for y'all and get it out to y'all immediately. But in the meantime, man, make sure y'all continue to tune in. Share. I really need y'all to share, like, subscribe, all that stuff. Leave comments. I love to chop it up. I love to, talk conversation with y'all. I appreciate y'all tuning in. As always, man, we out. Peace.